Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and today is such a special, magical day on the podcast. I have two of my absolute favorite human beings. We have known each other for so many years. They are incredible, incredible dentists, practice owners, managers, like you name it. These two men are some of the most brilliant people I watched in dentistry, and I've watched them grow from beginning, very basics, to this masterpiece of their life, of their community, of this practice that I truly think is such an example in this world. So, Jeff and Andrew, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for having us.
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
You're so welcome. And I know it'll get a little weird because when there's three of us here, it's always like, who's supposed to talk? So I'll try really hard to just call someone out. But honestly, guys, how does it feel to be, and I'll ask Jeff first. So again, I'll like just riff through this. How does it feel from like when we first met to where you are today? How does it feel like, what would you even say? Like, what's a word or what's the expression of like where you started to where you are today? How was that experience for you, Jeff?
If I had to sum it up in a word, looking back at myself in this experience, I think my younger self would look at today and be astonished that one, this is the career path I'm in that I didn't set out to. Two, I started in this dental industry with zero experience other than knowing Andrew and listening to what he talks about when he comes home. To today, that we have gone from a team of 7 in this tiny building with 5 ops we started with, to now a team of 20, 17 ops in a 16,000 square foot building. I literally cannot, I have to pinch myself being like, we did this, take a minute, let's reflect. I'm still kind of coming down from all of the renovation and the moving and calibration. So every now and then I have to remind myself, like, wait, this is our place. We did this. So take a minute and reflect. And I'm still kind of battling with that because I'm, used to going full force. So I'm astonished.
That's amazing. And Jeff, I'm so glad you said that. So we've known each other. Jeff and Andrew have been clients of ours for years. This is like a client spotlight where we bring on people to just, I think, share their journey, share their experience. And for me to have like a proud mama moment of just being so freaking proud of where you are. And I agree. I'm astonished. It's not something when I met you too that I thought wouldn't be capable. But I do think it's all for all of us, like a pinch me moment. And for me, what I love is seeing my favorite humans like just flourish. And I feel like you guys give back to your team, you give back to your community. Like you're the good guys that I always want to win. And so I'm your biggest raving fan over here of like, yes, like have the life, have the experiences, do the things because you're just amazing humans that are contributing so much to this world. So I love that. Andrew, I want to hear, and also like Jeff, always you should just like love Andrew so much and the fact that he brought you into dentistry. Welcome to the best profession ever. So kudos on that, Andrew.
Thank you.
Andrew, what about for you? How's this journey been from where you started? You and Jeff, I think it's like adorable. Jeff literally had no clue. I remember Jeff, you're like, I don't know.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like Andrew brought me and I was like, hi, Kiera, I'm Jeff and I don't know what I'm doing and I think I need your help. So I do have to throw in a kudos, a super thank you for guiding me and helping me get to this place. So
yeah, you guys really helped kind of us.
I mean, I can't take the huge credit. Tiffany has been like the mass superstar for you guys. I've been able to be the proud mom on the side that's just freaking rooting for you all day long. But yes, I do remember definitely like, hi, your adorable glasses. Like you guys were just like dressed in white, I think, the night I met you. And I'm like, hi guys, super nice to meet you. So Andrew, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
That's okay. I think that's it though, is you guys have really helped bridge that like my clinical side and love of dentistry and what I've always really enjoyed and still geek out over all the time. And you help pull Jeff in and help him understand how he can kind of make this what he wants it to be. And I think that was something that kind of stuck with us ever since we first met y'all. That was something that weekend that we heard was like, if you're not happy in your office, there's one person to blame and it's you, right? So it's like you have the power, you have the energy, the time to put into that and kind of make it what you want. And I guess that's where like my word would be excited, because I do feel like the more that we lean in and kind of just trust our gut and do the things that we kind of really want to do, it becomes more fun. We kind of are instilling in our team what you've instilled in us to kind of take that leadership and work towards their goals and find their secrets that kind of stand out and really make them shine. And I think it's been really fulfilling and really exciting for us.
That's amazing. And I think for both of you, I remember, I feel like there was a pivotal moment. I don't know what year it was, but I feel like there was a moment where you both just hunkered down of what do we want our life to look like? What do we want our practice to be? What do we want this to look like? And I feel like that was I call them lightning bolt moments. And I feel like it was just like, from there, I feel like that's where momentum just skyrocketed for you. It was, and I don't know if you guys remember that from a person's on the outside looking in. That's something that I really watched, but I'm just curious, like, did you feel that way? I'll start with Andrew first on this one. Did you feel that way? And if you did, like, okay, give me the thumbs up, or like, yes, did you feel that way? That's question one. Let me be a better host here. Andrew, did you feel that that was something that changed for you guys in your practice?
Yes, no, I definitely did, and it is hard though for me to pinpoint. I think I had to lean into trusting, like having Jeff here and having you guys help him. It just allowed me to really focus and be that dreamer that I am. I'm definitely the dreamer. He's the implementer. So I think you helped us define roles and understand kind of where we really can help each other, kind of reach those goals together. So I don't know the day or time, but I definitely felt like it was soon after meeting you guys, and we just really felt like, okay, we can do this, and it's just magical.
It's truly magical. Thank you. Jeff, what about for you?
Yeah, I remember. I remember several moments, and I think a lot of it was like a light bulb. I remember it was the career change and all that. It was hard for me, going from the scientific,
Is it geology? Am
yeah,
I like making that up?
marine geology, marine geophysics. So like offshore to now dealing with people, patients, the public. It was crazy. I don't know what world I was in. But then I realized, I was coming into the office. I am not enjoying coming into the office. I'm not enjoying this. And I started to see, at the time we called it staff or employees. And it was like that. Why are we doing what we're doing? Right. So you guys helped me realize that I'm the catalyst to change. We are. And we had past experience of, being treated poorly or maybe unfairly or just feeling unfulfilled. And I started to realize we're in this industry that I'm not enjoying going to work. So nobody else is enjoying going to work. Who can change it? That's me. And then I started to notice that it felt like people in their roles and their careers within the office felt unfulfilled or, underappreciated. And it's like, a dental assistant isn't just a dental assistant. They do the work that the dentist to allow the dentist to do his job. So without that, it's essential. So why don't we treat them like essential? So there was that moment that I walked into that door and I had you and Tiffany in my, in my ear, like, come in with a different energy, present differently. And I did. And I remember that moment. And I remember seeing people be like, whoa, this is a little different. Like, this could be a fun day. And I'm like, this is going to be a fun career. And then that started, okay, how can I make people's roles more fulfilling? How can we create growth, opportunity? How can we show them that there's opportunity in our practice and they have the power to grasp that, to have a fulfilling life? We go to work every day for 8 hours or longer, so if they're not fulfilled there, how are we serving the people that are serving us?
It's incredible. And I think, Jeff, this just highlights a lot of your leadership and like the growth I've seen in you. I remember Cranky Jeff, who did not enjoy going to work.
Yeah, they call him Gilbert. That's my middle name. Yeah. So that's the ego. That's the alias for Cranky Jeff.
I like it. Yeah, I do remember those days. And you were not happy in this. And I don't think Andrew was super happy. Andrew, you've always been like one of the most passionate dentists I've ever met, which is so fun to just see you like light up when you talk about dentistry and do all the pieces. Jeff, on the other hand, I think you kind of like drug him into this, like, hey, I need you in here. Gilbert, it sounds like, is the one to go. And then Jeff came to the scene realizing like the space for you. And Jeff, that's something I really love to highlight is I think so many leaders don't realize it's within them. Because it doesn't look the way that they thought it was going to be. So I'm excited to get into that. And I'm just curious. So you briefly mentioned you guys had this small practice. In my mind, it's like purple or pink walls. Is that really true? Like
it
inside?
Started that way. It was like very dark green, brown. It had purple. Yes, there was some magenta. Yeah.
It was like a dollhouse in my mind. Like it was like this like little like very short like ceilings.
Very dark brown.
Popcorn ceiling too.
Yes, not that great. I remember being like, Tiff, this is where they work. Like, okay, let's like this, like, I mean, how could you not have fun, Jeff? There's like colors of every rainbow on all the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But you guys went from this small building to now this massive practice. You've got all these team members. But something I'm probably going to like butcher your vision just a little bit. But I remember hearing it when you said it and it stuck with me. Again, I think I'll get like the gist of it, but I remember you saying like, we are going to be like the dentist that the community chooses, something like that. I don't know how, like, I feel like I'm close to it, but I really loved that it was like, okay, we're going to impact our community really largely. We want to be the place that our community chooses. And you did this whole expansion. And I'm just curious, like, okay, what worked well, what didn't work well, what were like, let's just kind of go on like a fun road. I'm not going to pick who, like, you guys can tag team over there. But I'm just curious of, you went from Gilbert Jeff, who was angry, to this like weird house that you were in, to now this like amazing business building community. Like, the impact you guys have in your community is amazing. You have all these team members. Like, what were the highlights? What were the, like, walk me through. I need to know, what did you do right? What did you wish you would have done? What advice you have for other people looking to go down this journey? That's something I think you've done so well, but I think like it didn't come without a lot of learning and a lot of growth that I'd love you guys to just highlight. But also you did some things really freaking well too, so highlight that too. So it's over to both of you. Whomever wants to pick up the ball and run with it, it's yours. And tag team, because I'm sure both of you have very different perspectives on how that took place.
Well, I can start because I think one thing for me that's been really amazing is like you guys help be our cheerleaders to say like, hey, if you stick with these things, you stick with these systems, it's really allowed us to kind of be ourselves. And in a way, that's what feels unreal. Like, it feels really magical that like we get to be ourselves every day. We get to stick to like what our core values are. And it feels lucky that people appreciate that. And that shouldn't be like rare in the world today, but it really does feel that way. So I feel really lucky to come to work. And I feel lucky I get to be honest and authentic with the people around me. And I think that's been like the biggest, coolest thing to me, like through all of this, is I think having y'all as cheerleaders, that was really like the biggest thing. Because, you know, moving to this building and increasing our team size, it's kind of like, is that happening? And then I'm like, I'm going to go do the dentistry. You guys figure it out. And y'all were like, yeah, we're going to hire some people.
Andrew's always pushing it off like, Jeff, I'm going to go do this. Like, good luck on all the fires.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, can you stop being the dreamer for like a
Yeah.
year? I need a break.
You just can't stop.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I would say so, you know, kind of piggybacking off what we touched on earlier with elevating the team and that sort of thing. So when we did that, it was kind of like positivity just keeps building, right? It's contagious. People want to be around it. People like it. They want to feel that way. So we did some work internally with the team. And then we realized the team likes it. Mm-hmm. You know, this is real, you know? So then that immediately transfers to the patients and then to the community. So there's kind of like the little trickle effect there. So when patients start to come in and they're like, oh, this is kind of fun. Everybody enjoys their job. I enjoy coming here. Or when I walk in, I feel happy. You know, it's like, that's the vibe we wanted. And that Andrew and Dr. Parks, their dental work is exceptional. So pair it with that. And then the word gets out and it just continues to snowball. So as that's happening, we're like, maybe we should expand. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we can take on somebody else. Then the plans kind of evolved, and there was, the first plan was to double the size of the building that we were in. But then COVID hit. So pre-COVID, we were like, we're going to do this. Let's plan it. We've got enough land to double the building. Let's get all this done.
We actually used our waiting room as an extra spare room because we were kind of outgrowing our space so quickly.
Business was getting bigger, but the project was not moving along at all. So we cut into the waiting room and we made 6 rooms. And we're like, can we sustain this? Yes, we sustained it immediately. So after COVID hit, we said, oh, shoot, what are we going to do? Like, we can't afford this expansion anymore. And then what does the timeline look like? That just went out the window. So we're like, let's pivot. If we were going to spend X amount of dollars here for this, it ended up being about 2,000 workable square feet that we would add to the practice. So we started looking at, are there buildings for sale around? And we kind of had a vision a long time ago, even before considering moving the practice itself. Like, there's some cool buildings in our community that could look beautiful. So maybe we look into some of those ugly ones, and that's what we end up doing. So we identified a building that was way bigger than what we needed. However, the thing that we identified was the plumbing was around the exterior between the levels.
Smart.
So we thought that's super expensive, ground up. So let's utilize some of this plumbing. We interviewed several contractors. We chose one to do the original project expanding that building, but we chose another for this project because of our interview. So it took a lot of back and forth to figure out who's going to work best with us and who's really going to build in some cost savings. Like with the building that we did buy, we made sure that the contractor that we hired was going to retain as much material as they could. We had solid doors. So like save the doors, we'll paint them or reuse them. I don't want to buy a ton of new doors. So
Yeah.
we were able, the relationship started well. It ended well as also, but that was the building blocks. Like, are you going to work with me, or are you going to be like, let's tear it down and start fresh to make a buck?
Mhm.
So that was a huge win. So we made a really good relationship with the contractor there. And then he guided us through. And I think, in the planning stage, architecture and engineering took a lot. And those are really the holdup, pretty much the engineers. So I would say stress on the engineering part first, because it's hard to make changes later, just
For sure.
because they don't typically work as fast, I guess.
It's true.
Takes longer, or in our case, it was. But I mean, it might seem like you're being redundant about layout and switches and these
Mhm.
sort of things, it's not. Like, visit the practice as many times as you can while it's in construction. Talk to everybody on a day-to-day basis. I popped in here so many times and was like, I don't like where that light is, or like
Mhm.
people don't always listen. So it stinks to be like, hey, I prepared all this stuff and this is what I want done. This is where I want everything, and nobody looks at it. So it's like you got to be there in person and kind of guide them. And um,
Yeah, I think
attention.
also kind of, I think you kind of a point I would like to make is we really stuck to like our goals and just ambition and just knowing that like, hey, we're just doing good things and we're just trying to do good for the community, and like how can we expand? And it was scary at times, the expansion, or it was always very scary until we got here. Like we say
Always.
Yeah.
jokingly when we were at the old building and we'd come over here, even bringing the staff, you could tell everybody's like, what the heck, this place is going to be big, we're going to lose each other, like we're not going to hear. In our old office, I could hear our front desk, and I could actually like tell them like, actually, don't do that. Like I could correct people from like the room, down the hallway. And here it is a lot more space, but it's like once we got here, we're like, how the heck did we all fit there? And then you just quickly fill the space, and it's exciting because I don't know. You just got to really like trust in your process and your values and what you're working towards. And
Mhm.
I do feel like it has been building up. Like we're going to celebrate our 10th year in practice next year, and I think that's what feels unreal. Oh my god, it's this year!
Oh
Oh
no,
my
next
god!
year. Yeah, next year. Sorry.
Oh, next year.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
see,
like,
don't even know.
we need a
But it
break.
No,
just
it's
flies
not
by,
fair.
right? Like
Have the
it's just
celebration all the years.
yeah, we
Yeah.
celebrate every year for sure. And I think that's it, is like it is just kind of in a way you just kind of stick to like little goals, kind of just keep it moving those like, hey, how can we make this better? What can we do? Oh, we need space. How do we solve that
Mhm.
problem? And necessity just helped kind of push us along. And I think if we would have done the building before COVID, we probably would still be in our old office and kind of wishing we had more space. But in a weird way, I'm really happy that things worked out the way they did. And
Yeah.
uh,
Always.
we've ended up here, so it's been amazing.
I'd say on a team perspective too, like the team was really scared, to be honest, like moving over here. There were concerns. But when we said it at first, we are like, we're gonna do this instead, and they were like, oh. So I think keeping them regularly informed and kind of showing them the things
And
that we're
making them
doing.
a
So
part of
like,
the
yeah,
process
we made
too.
them a part of the process so they could be excited about it. We took them to visit when milestones were done. We'd be like, hey, meet over there. We'll talk about it. We kept them involved in the process. And I mean, we weren't like financially open about all of the things, but it was nice to be able to like, listen, we've got to buy cabinets, and cabinets cost this much money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
we could do it, but we have to do this. So we want to take care of it too. So it instilled value and instilled excitement. And then helping, getting votes on like color choices or that sort of thing involved them. And then before the move, they were really nervous about what it was going to be like in a space this large, bringing on new team members. So with the help from y'all, Tiffany, we were like, okay, everybody write down what the specific concerns are, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to combat that. So we're going to prep you with like the solution before a problem even occurs.
So
and
smart.
that was helpful. And then we did move in one weekend, a long weekend ourselves with
Amazing.
some movers.
It was crazy.
And everybody pitched in, and everybody just had fun doing it. And
it was Labor Day weekend, so we had an extra day.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, we'll do it. I mean, Labor Day seems very fitting. It's labor.
Right. But we didn't require anybody. We're like, hey, we're doing this. Like, nobody's required to, but if you want to, we would love it. And we'll make it fun. And it was good. And then, like, less than a month after, we got slammed with a hurricane in North Carolina in the mountains. Yeah. So that was a hurdle. We had a generator that took the longest to get in, the last thing installed.
One of the most expensive things we bought, and they didn't hook it up.
Because the gas inspection. So I double check your inspections, make sure the gas inspection.
Make sure it's actually all prepped for in case of hurricane. But like, kudos to you guys. Like, I'm so proud of you, and to hear, I love the two different perspectives. And I think something I hear is you are true to yourselves. You want, like, knowing that you want to be, like I said, I probably like butchered your vision just a little bit. Sorry on that. Of like being the dentist that the community chooses and being the place that we can serve them. Well, you can only serve so many patients in 6 ops, which is like a makeshift 6th op. We were at like 5, realistically 5.5. So it's like, it's not like, well, if you build them, they will come. You guys already knew you had made this footprint. You knew what you wanted to do. I feel like you guys really hunkered in. You're like, we're going to be a part of this community. This is where we want to be. We want to change the lives of our employees. And I feel like in doing so, I think that almost gave you the steam. It's not like, something I really love about both of you is, on paper, you guys have really sexy numbers that I'm always like, love having them as clients, like great job over there. But as human beings, I mean, right, as a consultant, you're like, all right, like look at my perfect like model students over here. Well, you guys are one of them. And I'm really proud of the numbers you put up, and I'm proud of the dentistry you do. But the piece is, you grew because you wanted to for the impact. You didn't grow for the ego associated with it. And I think that that's so paramount, because I think that that's why you guys still are happy. I think that's why you love coming to work. Like, going through that mayhem, if it's not your passion project, if it's not something you really want to do to serve and to give back and to have a bigger vision beyond the dollar signs, I think the dollar signs for you were secondary, and the community and the impact was number one. And I think that's why, like, of course you got to pay for it. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Like, maybe you guys are truly children of like the billionaires and who knows what world, and I didn't know that about you. I'm pretty confident you're not. You're self-made of where you are over there. But like, looking at that, I feel like that's a huge probably differentiator of your success, because it was built from passion, love, and a desire to give back while also being incredibly good. Like, Andrew, you're an amazing clinician. And I think that having, like you said, Jeff, top-notch dentistry, Jeff, you're amazing at building this culture and this community of people that love and serve. And I think combine that together, then want to give it back to your community. Like, I feel like your success was inevitable, and I'm just really proud of you. And Jeff, to hear about going to the inspections, I'm like, yeah, good for you, because how annoying is it when you walk in? Like, my husband and I, when we were building our house, they were going to put our huge AC unit on the one side of our house that I could actually put like planter boxes and have stairs. And I was like, why don't we just move this over here? My husband tells me all the time, he's like, Kiera, that was one of your best moves. And I'm like, yes, because the function, the flow, like it would have been all of our neighbors. Where do you think their AC unit is? Right in the middle of the only usable space on the side of the house. And they all put it. And I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah, question everything.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. And so just like making it a space that you want to be in, that you're proud of, I just really love. And like hearing, I mean, you had an obstacle right after you start. And I think some people could have gotten really down, but it's like, no, we built something bigger. It's not like a burn and churn. You guys want to be there for the long haul. You want this to be a place you're proud of. And I think that that just bleeds through. So I'm really proud of you. And thanks for sharing that journey. And I want to pivot to highlight both of you just a smidge, because Andrew, I think you do something really special, and you're able to mentor doctors really well. And I think that this is something that not all dentists are able to do. And Jeff, you're more than welcome to chime in on anything. Like at this point, guys, you should compliment one another. I mean, hello, let me just make your life better for you. But Andrew, can you walk us through, what do you feel are some of the things you do so superior? Like, I want you to brag a little bit. This is a moment where Kiera Dent is so freaking proud of you. Tiff is proud of you. Our company is proud of you. Because I think other people want to know how to do this. So I almost want to like peel back the curtain just a little bit on what are some of the things you do really well and exceptionally. Like I said, Jeff, chime in too. Then we're going to reverse. We're going to talk about Jeff, and Andrew, you can chime in on him. So like both of you can just smooch each other tonight as well. You guys are going to have an amazing night post podcast. You're welcome. All right.
Yeah.
But truly, Andrew, what are some of the things you feel set apart?
That leads into I was going to say, like, I feel really lucky to have Jeff, obviously. And I know not everybody has a Jeff or can trust someone as much as I trust Jeff. But I think, obviously, it can be very hard on our marriage. So that's one side note. And I know, like, a lot of couples that happens. But I think
I'm so proud of you. 10 years in and you still,
right? I know.
Which is amazing.
2 years ago, I was worried.
And in gay years, that's like 40.
Just
That's
kidding.
like 40.
Everybody is. You're like, okay. But it's one of those things also, though, I will say, like throwing it out to couples, when couples go through what you have gone through and you're able to like be through the thick and the thin of it, I will also give advice. Like when I watch people go through dental school, and Andrew, I'm sure you saw this, I was so angry at so many of our like friends that went through, like they went through the residencies, they got to the end, and I'm like, you freaking made it. And that's when they get divorced. And I'm like, well, if you're going to get divorced, like, get divorced during the hard times.
Right.
But like, you two have made it. You've made it. And now it's like just a matter of like, we bonded together, we grew together. And I think like making sure that stays a priority in your marriage. You guys remember I was a marriage and family therapist prior to this. Like that was my thing. I'm like, don't give up on what you went through the freaking hardest years together.
Right, yeah.
Now it's like, enjoy this amazing life we built together. And don't lose sight of how grateful we are for one another. So anyway, like off my tangent, I hope all of you see the potential within yourselves. And I'd love to be a part of your story and your journey. So reach out, hello@thedentallingteam.com. And as always, thanks for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dentallink Team Podcast.